Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar themed Level Up Your Finances, Practical Tips to Grow Your Wealth in Today's Economy. This is brought to you by UC Microfinance Bank, a subsidiary of United Capital Group. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Oluwatobiloba Adejumo, and I am super excited to be your moderator for today. We have an engaging, impactful, a mind-blowing session for us today. In fact, I'm short of superlatives on how to describe the session today, but you can be sure it is going to be very packed. So we implore you to sit back, relax, take it all in, because this is you're going for a ride at the moment. I can assure you of that, right? And most importantly, you need to implement the tips and tricks that you're going to pick up on the call today. Is very important. Once you can pick up these tips and tricks, I can assure you, you can grow your fund regardless of what the economy says. So before we begin, a few housekeeping rules for us, right? So the session is in listen mode only. Listen only mode. So should you have any questions, you need not to worry. We're going to take your questions. There's going to be a Q&A segment later in the webinar. So if you're joining us on Zoom, you can drop your questions in the chat box or the Q&A just below your screen. If you're joining us on YouTube, you can drop your questions in the comment section. I beg your pardon. So please note that the session is being recorded, right? So if you miss anything along the way, you need not to worry. The session is being recorded and it will be shared at the end of the webinar. But you do not want to miss any part of the section. You don't want to miss it. We have two amazing speakers, which I'll go ahead and introduce right now. Believe me, they are amazing. They're even more amazing than, I do not have enough words to describe our speakers today. Our first speaker, Esther Adeola Balogun, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of UC Microfinance Bank. Esther has almost 2 decades of inclusive finance, and she's very passionate. I mean, you're going to hear it from her voice, how passionate she is. She's very passionate about using digital banking to empower everyday Nigerians with access to smart, practical financial solutions. Thank you for joining us, Esther.
Right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Oluwatobiloba. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Esther. Up next, we have Tina Unwaiwu, the Director of Sales, UC Microfinance Bank. She has over a decade experience across investment, tech, and financial services. Tina is very passionate about leveraging digital tools to drive seamless customer experiences. Hello, Tina. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Toby. Thanks for having me today, and thanks to our listeners for joining today.
Well, thank you very much, Tina. I'm super excited to go into what we have for today proper. Let's just go into it. Firstly, Esther, a brief introduction of UC Microfinance Bank. I'm sure some people might just be hearing UC Microfinance Bank for the first time, or maybe they have stumbled on our adverts on billboards across Lagos. They maybe might have seen our adverts on BRT buses in Lagos as well. But can you just give us a brief walkthrough of what makes UC Microfinance Bank stand out?
All right, thank you, Toby. I'd like to say welcome to our listeners this morning. All right, so UC Microfinance Bank, we are here to redefine banking. When I say we are here to redefine banking, redefine microfinance banking, we're a digital-first solution. We have a digital-first solution. Our approach is digital-first. Even though we operate a hybrid model, our commitment to financial inclusion is inclusive, is all inclusive, making it easier, for everyone to access tools that they need to succeed financially, no matter where you are on your goals. What we offer you in UC is excellence, convenience, and we have digital tools to also help you to achieve your financial goals. So as long as you have a goal that you want to achieve financially, and let me also say that even you are at a point where you're trying to define that goal. UC Microfinance Bank is here to also help you, in that journey of defining the goal. So whether you're saving for rainy days or you are trying to look for a hassle-free loans that will not, cut your throat, or you want to manage your funds, your finances, your money effortlessly, I'm here to tell you that our solutions are designed to help you achieve your financial success. And so, straightly put, just like our tagline, UC is here for you. UC is not just a bank. We are your financial partner. We are here to take care of everything all the goals you want to achieve financially. Thank you, Oluwatobi.
Thank you very much, Esther. Well said. UC is here for you. UC is that partner you need. UC is that partner that you need to help achieve your goals. UC is ready to move in your journey with you as well. Very well said, Esther. So, Esther, just before we go into the tips and strategies to grow your funds, because that's why we're here today. Everybody wants to grow their funds. Everybody wants to know how to grow their funds. We all know how difficult the economy is right now. We know how tough things are and how the prices of goods and services are on the rise at the moment. I mean, your 500K last year is not, you won't get the same value for that, your 500K today. So it feels like the money is leaving faster than it's coming in. So can you just speak to what this means for everyday people and why now more than ever, financial planning is critical?
All right. So financial planning cannot be here, cannot be overemphasized in today's economy. And it's not just peculiar to Nigeria, but because we are in Nigeria, and because UC operates, in this country, we're going to look at. Okay, so first, let's look at what the inflation rate in Nigeria is today. Globally, you have, inflation reaching about 24%, at times 30%. And what does this mean to an average Nigerian? That means purchasing power of the money that you have as a Nigerian is shrinking rapidly. And like Toby said, what you could buy with 10,000 naira last year, I was in a supermarket and somebody was asking that when was the last time, you bought, I'll use a very good example that we all know, a carton of Indomie. How much was a carton of Indomie, last year? And you are looking at the price of the carton of Indomie today and you're asking yourself, how did we get here? That's the kind of Nigeria that we have. The cost of living has risen beyond, what every other person can explain. And so without a financial plan, you cannot beat inflation. That's the truth. You have to plan your finances such that you are very strategic about planning your finances. You need to identify places where, you can, earn more on your money. Let your money work for you. That's a simple word. So you need to put your money in places where it will start working for you. It's not a time where you have to keep an idle fund somewhere. And, we look at the cost of living, the high cost of living in Nigeria today. What are the main things taking, responsible for that? You look at food, you look at housing, you look at transportation, healthcare. All these have gone up significantly. They've soared, especially in places like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. These are places where people are living under a very high cost of living. I don't know if you follow the trend today. You hear a lot of people talking about the rent. The rent you paid last year. Say, take for example, you paid rent of 1.3 million last year. You are not sure you are going to pay that 1.3 million again this year. The bag of rice you bought last year at 50,000 naira, you can't buy it again this year. 50,000 naira. And so financial planning would enable you to budget effectively. It would also help you to prioritize your expenses. It would help you cut down on non-essential, spending. That's what financial planning does to you as a Nigeria. And lastly, I want to go straight to, it would also help you avoid debt traps. So when you plan your finances. There's a way you would plan, and you unnecessary loans that are not necessary, loans with very high interest rates, loans that would put you in a trap. You don't take them, because you would have to also factor in your the cost of loan repayments and all that into your finances. And so what am I trying to say this morning? That more than ever, financial planning to every Nigerian is very important. Whether you are SME, whether you are in the MSME, whether you are working, you are earning salary, salary earner, whether you are a trader, whether you are a student, you must learn financial planning. And it is very simple to learn. It's just, those are some of the tips we'll be sharing here today. And I hope that, just like Toby mentioned when he started, our listeners would take, this as would take this as lessons that they can apply in their daily life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. We are off to a fantastic start. I've taken notes of things, and two things really stood out for me with what you said. So the first one, let your money work for you. Do not have any funds lying idle. It is not good. If you have an idle fund somewhere, charges or impulse spending will come in. That would now take me to financial planning, which is one other thing I took out from what you said. So you need to have a good financial plan to beat inflation. So you do not just keep your money idle or nothing to do with it, let it just be. No, you have something you want to do with your money. And that takes me to budgeting. So now, everyone wants to build wealth, right? That's what everybody wants. We want our money to work for us. We want our money to grow, which is why a lot of people fall for scams these days. They don't verify where they put their money just because they want to build wealth, right? But it is a luxury for a lot of people as well, because between paying bills for yourself, paying bills for your immediate family, paying bills for your extended family, you can agree with me that that's a lot. So Tina, what are the common mistakes that people make when it comes to growing their funds, especially considering people always think I'll save more when I have more?
All right. Thank you, Toby. So like you said, and as Esther has alluded to, financial planning is very intentional. It's not something that you do by the side. You need to be intentional. You need to learn when to start. Now, budgeting is very, very key. I see a lot of people do not budget. Salaries come in, or business money come in, and you just begin to spend. Then you see sometimes by the 17th or 18th of the month, and people are always saying, when did they pay salary? When is it coming? And this is because we have not planned. We're spending without planning. Now, you have to start with budgeting. I know some people would say, oh, I don't want to live my life like that, or I don't want to then put things in pen and paper, or perhaps use an Excel to, map out their spending and the cost of things that they need to do for that month. But trust me, it works. I, for one, I use an Excel sheet. I know how much my cost is, just the way we run businesses, right? Revenue and cost. You know that revenue in this instance, for instance, is your salary, or maybe your business profit, or the income that comes through your business. That's your rev. You put it aside. Then you need to highlight your cost. Everything that you need to spend for transportation for that month, rent, fees. In Nigeria today, we pay rent by the year, but doesn't stop you from, budgeting for rent and saving towards that rent, so that when that rent bill comes through, you are not under any kind of pressure, right? You can budget for entertainment. Some of us would go out. Life is not about working. You still need to go and see a movie, or some of the guys will take their babes out, or, you just want to go out with your family and stuff. So you can budget that entertainment. You budget benevolence, because you still need to help family. We are in Nigeria, we all know, right? Some people call it bukata, but it would come. So how much are you budgeting for that? So that you know that this one is for benevolence. When they come, I will do that. But perhaps you're the one taking care of your parents, you need to budget. So by the time you can physically see your budget highlighted in an Excel sheet, then you match it with your revenue. You will know whether you are overspending, based on the income that is coming through, because at that point you'll be in trouble. So we encourage everybody to do some sort of budgeting. That's the intentionality we're talking about when it comes to financial planning. Also, we're saying don't leave idle funds in the bank. Gone were those days, like 2 or 3 years ago, we just leave our money in the bank. Whether we're getting interest or not, we just leave it. There are rules to these things that most of us do not know. Sometimes you leave your money in the bank and you withdraw more than 4 times, you earn no interest at all on that account, but you don't even know it. You just have left your money there and you're spending from it. If that money is idle, put it to work. Like Esther said, let your money work for you. It's very, very important. There's no need leaving idle funds in the bank. So these are a few tips towards, intentionally starting financial planning and know that you are going somewhere. You are seeing your budget. You are knowing that this money at the end of the day, I have an idle fund. Let me place it somewhere. Let's save this money, right? And you're looking for investment that will yield, good amount. Like Toby had said, some people are in a rush because they don't do their research. They just go to any house to invest, and at the end of the day, they get burned. Take your time to research different investments. Take your time to research different banks, compare the interest rates, right, and see the one that works for you. There are different instruments, and you want to say, okay, perhaps I want to keep this here and I'll release it after 3 months. How much is it going to? You can even do the calculation based on the interest rate. Then you have an idea. That will give you some sort of idea on how you are planning finances. And what we are saying here is the way you plan your finances at work, or the account department, will plan the finances for that organization. That's what you should be doing as an individual, planning these finances and seeing your revenue, which is your salary or your income from business, against the cost that you need to put out there for the month.
Thank you very much, Sina. We've heard it. I mean, do not sleep and your money is sleeping as well. That is very dangerous. So your money, you and your money cannot be sleeping at the same time. Send your money on an errand. Let it bring returns for you. That is what you need to do. This is one of the tips. Again, I mean, I hope we are taking notes. This is another very important tip that we can use to to grow our funds. And as Sina said, budgeting works. You can use an Excel, as she has said. You can do that. It's very simple. You can even use simple mathematics. Take your pen and your paper. This is your income. This is your expense. It works. It will guide you. This will guide you on how to spend. And one thing she said that really struck me: don't let Bukata kill you. Don't say because of this Bukata here, because of this Bukata there, you will not now. No, don't let Bukata problem no dey finish, as they always say. So you need to be intentional about your saving and growing your fund. So that takes me into saving. Now we know there's a difference now between saving your money and actually growing your money, right? So can you tell us how someone can actually build the habit of saving even when the income is tight?
Toby, thanks. Like I mentioned earlier, budgeting will help. The income will always be tight. The truth of the matter is, even if you are paid 100 million at today, the expenses that will eat that 100 million will stare at your face right there. And you start being a big boy. You need to move houses. You need to go to a posh neighborhood and things like that. So there is never any money that is small or big. That's the philosophy when it comes to financial planning. You must make available the ones you want to save and the ones that obviously you want to keep aside. And that's the beautiful thing when it comes to UC Microfinance Bank, right? We have thought about this, and we have also put different products out there based on what the market needs, right? As at today, we have UC Marcus and UC Galaxy, right? And these two savings products have been tailored differently to address different needs. The UC Marcus is target savings. The UC Galaxy is locking away your funds. So some people have a discipline of saving small towards a goal, and that's why you see people doing Ajo or doing all those things, because there are different types of discipline. If you have the discipline of saving towards a goal, then UC Marcus is for you, right? You want to save for vacation, for instance. You can start saving for vacation from the beginning of the year. We all know that July, August is summer and people want to travel and do stuff with their family. You can start putting money aside, and you can do that daily. You can do that weekly. You can do that monthly based on how you decide to set up the product. But on our app, you can set up that product the way you want. Whatever you tell that product or however you have set it up, it will act accordingly. If you have asked it to go and pick 5,000 naira from your account, from your UC savings account every month, it will do that, and you will continue to compound. And that's where you see the power of compounding, because it is growing, the interest is accrued, and you're seeing your money just work for you, like you said. Don't sleep, and your money is sleeping as well. But if you are that person who have huge, you have a bullet amount, or you have a huge amount and you want to lock it away. Like, some of us might not be as disciplined as keeping money and, letting it be. Some people, money will be there and there's an immediate problem, which there will always be, right? You just go there and take it. But UC Galaxy is saying, lock it off, a whooping 20% awaits you for that product, and put it to a date. I'm locking my money, I'm locking 20,000, 100,000 till December. That money is not going to be made available to you until December, and it's accruing on a daily. The beautiful thing is that you can top up. You can find another 50,000 and say, oh, I also want to lock this up. You go there and you top up your UC Galaxy and you're earning a whooping 20%, right? So all those things put together, the intentional way that you can make sure that your money is working for you, you don't have any idle funds, and you are getting a good interest rate on your investment.
Thank you very much, Sina. Well said. I mean, no small money. Even that your urgent 2K, you can use it as an instrument to build your wealth. So you can save it. I mean, I hope by now we are dropping our questions, because from here, I'm sure people want to know more about UC Marcus, UC Galaxy. I mean, the 20% on UC Galaxy is something that, I mean, is very, very attractive to me. I've taken note of it. I'm going to take advantage of it immediately after this. So I hope we're dropping our questions so that we can take your questions. We want to hear from you as well. It's very important for us to hear from you. But yes, save small, start small, baby steps. You don't need to have that big money here before you say, I want to save, or it is time for me to save. I can do it with the little money that I have. And yes, and little by little drops of water, they say, makes an ocean. So Esther, the big one in the room, loans, right? A lot of people, they hear loans, and the next thing you hear is, God forbid, it's not me and my family, it's not my portion. Loans. We saw what happened when people were being picked up on the streets for taking loans that they refused to pay back. This has caused fear in the heart of a lot of people right now. I can say that. So, I mean, can you just walk us through how UC's loan products can help people grow their wealth as an alternative to loan sharks we hear so much about?
All right, thank you, Toby. All right, so I'd like to state clearly that UC Microfinance Bank is not a loan company. We are a licensed microfinance bank. We are licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it is also insured by NDIC. So you can be rest assured that because we are powerfully regulated, right? There are regulations around what we do. So we do not behave the way the quote and unquote the loan sharks behave. We are very ethical with our loan products, and our customers, we are very customer centric too. So customer service is at the heart of the products that we sell. Remember, while I started the introduction of UC, the first thing for us is excellence, and so we try as much as possible to be excellent in the way we deliver our products. So for us in UC, when you're taking a loan, I'd like to, also say this to our listeners, that we do not give you loans that you do not need. We do an assessment before we even grant you the loan. Say, for example, you earn, say, 2 million naira monthly, and you are coming to ask for a loan of 20 million naira to be paid back in 6 months. Obviously, we will do an assessment before we even grant you, and we do advisory. So part of what we do in UC is to help our customers learn what they need and how much they would need for a particular purpose. You might think, as a business owner, what you need to invest in that business is say 50 million. And when we do an assessment of the business, we do an assessment of whatever request you have brought, we'll be able to tell you that you don't even need 15 million, for that business. Maybe what you just need is just a 15 million, a 20 million, and it would help you, it will guide you to be responsible, to pay back the loan that you have also, accessed with the bank. And I also like to say that for us in UC, aside from the fact that we do it excellently, we are customer centric, we are also here to, help you grow your wealth with the loans that we give. That is the main purpose. And that is why, our goal for financial inclusion is to include everybody. So we are not here to, trap you into that bucket to say, oh, you are in debt trap. No, we don't do that. So what we do in UC is to guide you, to help you use the loans you take, grow your wealth. And how do I mean? As a business owner, if you take loan from UC, I can assure you that we want to also access the impact of that loan in your business. That is our goal. And that is the reason why we are giving you loans. So we are not just here to give loans or to make profit. What we are looking at is what is the impact we have made in your business. And that is why we have come up with several products, for our customers in different categories. I'll go to another example. For a salary earner, school fees period, I'll still say it's here because, I still saw, some schools while driving to the office this morning where, they are harassing some students to go home, they've not paid school fees and all that. And so if you earn salary, even as a business owner, there is a source of repayment. Why don't you just take a loan to sort out that bill? And, we have talked about financial planning. Then you now begin to plan your finances to say, okay, this is how I want to pay. This is what I would factor. This is how much of my income I would factor into loan repayment. This is what I will use for my savings and all that. And so that is the kind of service we render in UC Microfinance Bank. I would also go back to, another loan product that we also sell, even to our to our SMEs and MSMEs. So for SMEs and MSMEs, as a matter of fact, the way we analyze your business would help you understand, that there is no way you would invest. You take a loan from UC and you invest it in your business and you will not grow that business. And as you grow the business, your wealth keeps increasing. The growth of the business, you would see it. You take a loan from us, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, you are seeing the impact of that loan in your business. And so, straightly put, we are very ethical with our loans. We are not a loan shark. We will not harass you. And remember in my introduction, we say hassle-free loans. That's what we give. We are very responsible and we understand, the customer protection right. We understand the customer's right when it comes to loan. And that is why in all engagement, we also educate the customer so that the customer understands his right, his place and his position, when he's taking that loan. And I hope that our listeners would also, go out there when you're taking a loan, understand what the loan will do in your business. One, read the terms and conditions of the loan. Tina was speaking the other time, she spoke about, where the interest you're getting on the savings. The same applies to the loan that you're taking. You also need to look at the conditions of the loan, the terms of the loan, and that is where you see, that's our unique selling point. We are very open. No hidden charges. There's no hidden charges. You see it black and white. And another thing is that you can access it digitally. And so you don't have to come to the office. You don't have to sign so much papers. We don't ask you for your grandfather's birth certificates before you can get a loan. Simple, hassle-free, and responsible lending. That's what we do in UC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. I hope our listeners came prepared. You didn't just come here with a piece of paper and think, if you have 2 pages now, I'm sure you filled up your 2 pages with all of the things that has been said. Loan now seems very different with the way you've broken it down, Esther. I'm sure a lot of people have been able to pick many things from it. And one thing that stood out for me that you said, UC Microfinance Bank wants to measure the impact of the loans on your business. So it's not just about giving you the loans and saying, we've given you the loans and sit back and fold your arms. No, the UC wants to see the impact of the loans, which is very important, right? With this, there will not be diversion of funds and stuff like that. So this is really very important, and this is very, very interesting. I'm sure we must have quite a number of questions already from our listeners. And again, you spoke about responsible borrowing. That is also very important, because when someone takes more than what he needs, I mean, how am I going to pay back if I can only pay? But if I can only pay a loan of 1,000 and I'm taking 50,000, how do I want to pay back? So, which is very important. Thank you very much for that, Esther. Esther, still on you. Whether it's school fees or expanding a small business, what are the key factors to consider before taking a loan? Just educate us further, please.
All right, thank you. Okay, so first is we spoke so much about budgeting, we spoke so much about financial planning. You have to also look at your cash flow, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a salary earner, whatever it is you do, in whatever category you belong, your cash flow is very important. So you look at your cash flow. Will my cash flow accommodate this loan? And aside from that, you also look at the loan duration and the tenor of the loan. You see, when you look at the loan duration, because for loans, you take a loan, there's a tenor, there's an interest attached to it. You calculate the tenor vis-a-vis the interest rates and the loan principal, and you're asking yourself, okay, as a business owner, as a salary earner, from the regulatory point of view, the bank can only take the 3.3% of your income as loan repayments. And so if your loan repayment is higher than that 3.3%, that's no longer responsible. And so for a bank like UC Microfinance Bank, we will not grant you that amount you have requested for based on that policy. Even though we understand that you have a need to meet, and that's where advisory comes in. We would let you know that, see, you cannot, because you have other needs aside from the loan repayments. In your budget, in your planning, you have other needs you want to meet. So we would not allow you take more than 33.3% to service your loan. And secondly, I would also, like to say that when you are taking a loan for business owners, document your sales, document your inventory. Documentation is very important. You don't have to do so much for business owners. For business owners who says, oh, I'm in Balogun Market, how do I document it? I don't have a laptop. Just a simple sales record book is enough. Tina was talking about put your budget, put your planning on Excel. A simple sales record book is enough to say, okay, how much sales did I do today? And that helps with your cash flow. I also would encourage, our business owners, ensure that proceeds of your sales go through a bank. It helps you keep records of your daily sales, proceeds of sales. So if your customer says, oh, I want to make payments, and in today's world, a lot of people do transfers, right? And we have a UC app. You have downloaded your UC app. You have opened an account with UC. Encourage your customers to pay into your UC Microfinance Bank account. When they pay into the UC Microfinance Bank account, what we do is we just go to the app, we'll just go to the bank statement, analyze the bank statement, look at your cash flow, and we do a credit assessment to also ensure that you have capacity to pay back. And lastly, I also want to mention that, the credit history of everybody is very important. This is like an expo, that we are giving to you. If you have taken loan in your previous lives, please ensure you pay back. It has a way of impacting the lender's judgment on. It's a character thing. So when you borrow 2,000 from Toby Microfinance Bank, make sure you pay back the 2,000. Because if you see is checking and you're seeing that this customer has borrowed 3,000 naira from Toby Microfinance Bank since 2024 and the customer has not paid back, nobody understands what has happened between you and Toby Microfinance Bank. So we encourage you to go back and pay that loan, because it also tells us your character as a borrower. And then finally, as a lender, as a bank, what do we also, request for? We also look at your, the business you do, the kind of work you do. As a salary earner, where do you work? So what is the frequency of staff turnover in the place where, how often does your employer pay you salary? Because it also determines how well you'll be able to pay. And for business people, how many times have you changed your business location? It is very, very important. So if in the last 1 year you have changed location, your business location like twice, that means the longest time you have stayed in a particular location is 6 months. Then it puts and you're coming to you're coming to UC to say, I need a loan of 1 year. It puts UC on inquiry about you. So your character is very important as a borrower. Your character is important. The capacity to pay back the loan is also very important. And aside from the capacity to pay back the loan, the conditions in which we grant the loan is very important. You also need to look at the conditions in which you pay back the loan. What is the interest rate? Are there hidden charges? Are there other conditions that I need to meet? Maybe there's a collateral that is required. What other document do I need to provide even for these loans? And when you do all this, we call it due diligence. You can be sure that you are not making the wrong decision at that point in time. Thank you very much, Toby.
Thank you very much, Esther. UC is here for you. Don't you want a partner like UC? With all of this that you said, I want a partner like UC. Thank you very much for that, Esther. Back to you, Tina. So some people, not some people, everybody has this belief of your savings will save you later. People do not believe that savings and borrowing can coexist in today's world, right? So is it possible to combine savings and loans together in order to build a financial system that works?
Absolutely. That's what we are saying in today's world. Like I said, there are different parts. And Esther has alluded to this, that, things might come up and you need to address it immediately. So take, for instance, you're saving. Maybe you're doing target savings, right? And every month, a portion of your salary goes into this target savings and you're getting a 15% on your target savings. And school fees comes up, like Esther had said, and you need to pay school fees, right? It's okay to take a loan, borrow towards school fees so that you can settle your child's school fees, right? And you continue to pay back instrumentally. So both savings and loans can coexist. And I need our listeners to know that they both serve different purposes, right? Some parents started saving and they took loans to address stuff, but they have said, I'm saving for Tina's education, for instance, and they never touched that money. And at the end of the day, the beneficiary, which is the child, have them to thank for. If you ask that parent today, and did you encounter any emergencies or were there reasons why you should have liquidated that investment? Absolutely. They'll tell you, yes, things came up. I had to address this and this, but I understood what I was saving towards. And there was an access to a loan, and I took that loan to address the need and I paid off over time. So both of them can coexist. They serve different purposes. It is just striking the balance, right? Know when to get this loan, know how much you need. Don't over borrow. We say this a lot because people come in with a loan request of, for instance, 1 million. And when we use the 33.3% on their salary, we're like, oh, there's a 2 million available for you. I say, oh, give me. No, it's not about giving you. The need at that time says you need 1 million. Take 1 million, service that loan, and just go on with your life. Because taking that 2 million and exhausting your debt to income ratio tells, like, at some point it begins to choke you, because you use 1 million to address that need and you might use the other 1 million to faji, right? At the end of the day, you have spent it on something and it's not making sense. So it makes sense to just stay within your need. If your loan request is 1 million, do 1 million and address the need. But for every time, strike a balance between savings and loans. Do not tilt towards one side. Ensure that you have a savings. It's called a savings culture, right? And that savings culture has not said that you will not have emergencies or you will not have needs for loans or you will not want to address. It just says that a portion of your salary is meant to be saved up. That is the culture that we are trying to imbibe. If emergencies come up and your cash flow or your salary at the time cannot address it, by all means, go for a loan, but take what you need at the time and ensure that what you need at the time is what you're getting, so that when you're servicing that loan, there will be no repayment fatigue. Because it can set in, we've seen repayment fatigue setting. If you needed 1 million and you took 2 million and you used 1 million to go and faji with the boys, at some point when you continue to pay, you start pinching your body because you're feeling like, I'm tired, though. What is all this? But if you took that 1 million, address that need, you're sure to pay back, because while you were doing that financial decision, like Esther has said, you have asked all the questions, you know what to do and everything, then obviously you take that loan and it is fine. It is fine for you. Thanks, Toby.
Wow. So I never knew there was a thing like repayment fatigue until now. And I mean, that's a big one. It's just as you said, do not overdo. Whatever it is you have the capacity to pay back, that is what you should take. And like you said, it is very, very key to be disciplined. You need to be disciplined. That is key. That is the only way you can find the balance between loans and savings, right? So that is very key. So Esther, sorry, for someone watching today who is a small business owner, right? Or maybe earns a salary and juggles a side hustle. I mean, a lot of people have side hustles, right? Because I mean, you would hardly see anybody on the road today that is not doing that doesn't have multiple streams of income. We all believe in today's Nigeria, without a second stream of income, you will collapse, right? And that's what the economy is at today. So for someone like that, right, how can they access UC, right, and start using the app to manage their money better?
All right, thank you. So everybody, whether small business owners, whether MSMEs, whether salary earners, in whatever categories you are, as long as you have a BVN, you have NIN, just go to the Play Store app. I mean, go to your Play Store and your App Store. Download UC. There's this UC app. You can see the logo. The logo on these flyers that we share on the webinar. You see that logo, download it, and yours truly. It's as simple as that. I can assure you that in 5 minutes, you're done with onboarding. As long as you have your BVN, you have your NIN, and just use it, and you are good to go. And that's how simple it is to get UC. And you can also go to our website, www.getuc.com. You can also go there. You can also get onboarded. On the website, you can use internet banking on the website. That's a web app to get onboarded. Same thing, as long as you have your BVN, you have your NIN, which we all know it is regulatory, you'll be able to onboard with us on UC. Remember, UC is a digital first microfinance bank. So our onboarding, all our processes are done digitally. So you get us digitally online. We are everywhere. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on LinkedIn. Anywhere you want to, you can find any business. You would find UC Microfinance there. And lastly, if you would love to say, okay, let me just clear my doubts. Let me know where this office is. Remember I said we also, run a hybrid model. We have an office here at 49B Martin Street off Broad Street in Lagos, Nigeria. So you can just walk into our office. We have our agents, we have our service officers who would attend to you in a very professional manner, and you would go back and testify about UC. You would definitely become another UC ambassador. I would speak, for UC after enjoying the service that we have rendered to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. UC is a digital first microfinance bank. That is very correct. Thank you very much. It has been a very, very interesting session. I can't lie. It's been very educating. Oof, I've written a lot. I have written a lot. It's been really educating. So now I know our audience have dropped their questions. It's time to hear from them. They've heard from us. So let's hear from them. Let's address their questions before. Let's go ahead with that. So the first question I have here, there's somebody here already confessing that she doesn't remember to save, right? So how easy is it to automate savings on the app? Tina, this is for you, right? How easy is it to automate savings on the app? And what is the implication if I choose to take a portion of my savings? The person says, some companies have said I will lose all my interest saved. What is UC's take on this?
that have asked this question. Right, so on the UC app, like I mentioned earlier, there are two savings products, right? One is called the UC Markers, the other one is UC Galaxy. Now, I'll explain the two variants of savings, the savings product, so that you know which one best fits you. So the UC Marker is for target savings, right? You can start with as low as 5,000 Naira. You would set up that product on your app. So you can call it anything. Call it vacation, call it accommodation, call it December Faji or December whatever. We saw what happened last year, December. It was so fun in Lagos. I don't know where you are in Nigeria or what part of the world, but everyone knows all over the world that we had a lot of fun in Nigeria. To have that kind of fun, you need to save for it. You need to also spend. So you can start saving towards it today, right? Like this December, I want it to be dirty for me. So let me start saving. So you name that product and you tell the app what to do. If you want it on a daily basis, 1K daily or 2K daily, or you want a weekly, or you want a monthly, once salaries are paid, you set it up in such a way that it will go and pick that money from your UC savings account, right? So every month or week or day, depending on how you set up the savings product, you will just go there and pick the money and you see compounding as you go. On that product is 15%. You are not locking that product, which means you can liquidate at any time. There are no penal charges. So you liquidate, you take your money, you take the accrued interest, just take it and go. We do not believe that what you have saved for, you would forfeit at the end of the day because of early liquidation. So we have not tied any penalty to it. So you can take your money and that's it. You will liquidate that account and will tell on the app you to say completed. You can start tomorrow. You can come back tomorrow and say, listen, I want to start another one, right? And you start. And you can have multiple savings plan on UC Markets. You can have 7, named them differently, and you just continue to save. On the other hand, we have UC Galaxy, right? And UC Galaxy has 2 variants. There's the one that you lock up. There's the one that is not locked. So the app is going to ask you, do you want to lock this money up? The one you lock up is 20%, right? You lock it up with as low as 5,000, you can start. So if you have 5,000, 100,000, whatever, you go in, you set it up, it will ask you for the end date. Obviously, the start date is the day that you're starting it. The end date is the day that you want to break it, you want to liquidate. You put that in there, the system recognizes that, oh, this money is not coming out of here until December. That money will not come out until December because it has no liquidation option until December. So that one is locked away. It is forcing you to be disciplined about savings, right? So it's on December 30th, for instance, or December 15th, before Christmas Faji, right? It will now ask you and prompt you to say, oh, it will then auto liquidate for you and say this money is available. If you want to roll it over, that's fine. If you want then liquidate it, that's okay. That is on 20%. Then the other variant of Galaxy is the one that you can break, right? And on that, we have 15%. So you lock a bulk sum. It's almost like the markers, but the markers, different, the markers goes to pick money. You know, it's targeted towards something. So it's picking money on an interval. But the UC Galaxy that is not locked just carries the bulk money and help you fix it there, right? You can liquidate it if some emergency comes in and it is really pressing and you don't want to go for a loan and you feel that this money is the only money that can address this, then you can liquidate. There are no penalty charges. It's at 15%. You break it, you liquidate, you take your money. If tomorrow everything gets better, you know, you can come back on the savings plan and set it up again. It's as easy as that. The UC app is one of the easiest apps that I have seen in the country, and a lot of customers have alluded to. You don't need anybody to take you through the app. Once you get there and say you want to save, it will prompt you on what to do. As you answer the questions and continue to set up the products, you know, you'd at the end of the day would have set up products and you would have continued with your life.
Thank you very much, Tina. So we read it. There's the UC Markers which allows you to break your savings, right? Get no charges, no hidden charges, nothing. Thank you very much for that, Tina. So Esther, this question is for you. So the question is, hi, thank you for the session so far. I have other loans I am currently servicing. Am I still eligible for a loan with UC Microfinance Bank?
Okay, so when we do the assessments, you bring in your requests. When you do the assessments, there's something we call the your debt servicing ratio. So we have our own acceptable debt servicing ratio. So we look at it and we'll let you know. Of course, the fact that you are exposed to other lenders doesn't mean we cannot also lend to you. We can lend to you, but it has to be in alignment with our acceptable debt servicing ratio and alignment with our risk assessment criteria. We look at both things. Both the risk assessment criteria, if you fit in, if you are able to if your business or your salary is able to accommodate our risk assessment criteria and your debt servicing ratio, then we are good to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Esther. Still on you, Esther. There's another question from an anonymous attendee. So the question says, what's the interest rate on your business loans? Hope I won't have to pay back over 50% of my capital.
Oh, no. No, so you heard when I said that our loan is we do responsible lending and you don't have to pay 50% of the capital, right? So the interest rate for business loan as at today is 4.5% on reducing balance. And that's very, very the most competitive rates I've seen in the market so far. The most competitive rates I've seen in market so far. So what we offer you is not as much as what you would get in the market. So, and you also note that the longer the tenure of the loan, the higher the interest you pay, the interest sum you pay. This is what I also need, most business owners to understand. So what do I mean? If you take a loan of 2 million naira, okay, so business owner say 5 million naira, and you say, I want to pay in 12 months. Know that the interest you'll be paying in 12 months will be way more than what you'll be paying if you're as against you paying back the loan in 6 months. So we advise you to do shorter term loans so that you don't have to pay so much interest. We also advise you to also, take a limited amount so that it would able, you had been talking about your debt servicing ratio. So it gives you room to also service other needs that you have in your business. But straightly put, our interest rate is very competitive in the market. Very, very competitive. I'm sure the person asking this question knows that 86% interest per annum is the most competitive rate you have seen in the market for a business loan. So very competitive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. The interest rate is very competitive and very good. Tina, this is for you. So there's a question from an anonymous attendee as well. I want to save for rent, but my income is inconsistent. What do I do?
All right, thanks, Toby, and thanks to the attendee that have asked this question. So yes, we understand the inconsistent salary and how it hampers target savings. Like we earlier explained, target savings is about a particular date that it goes to pick that money, right? But what we would advise is check your salaries and how it has come in the last 6 months, right? Then you can then pick the latest date. So for instance, you've gotten salary on the 23rd, you've got it on the 24th, you've got it on the 30th, you've got it on the 1st of the next month, you've got it on the 2nd. Then you pick 2nd because that's worst case scenario, right? So that you can go and pick that money on the 2nd and help you save it. So that's how you can deal with things like that, right? So if your salary is inconsistent, is not a problem. It should not hamper you from savings because that salary is still going to come. If you don't save it, you're going to spend it. So do that math, do that analysis. What is the latest my salary has ever come? Pick the latest date so that worst case scenario, it goes to pick it. But I also want to implore you that if you pick the latest date and start that savings, if that salary comes earlier, don't spend it. Do not spend it. Be as disciplined as possible not to spend it. I would have said you should do average, but if you do average and it goes to look for the money and it doesn't find it there, it will move on to the next month, right? So what we're saying is do that latest month and begin to imbibe the. I need everyone to understand that savings is for you. It's a good culture to imbibe now than later, right? So you learn how to. So it's not like you've done the latest date and the salary now comes, you say, this money is free for me. Let me just go and eat it. No, remember that you need to contribute, towards that savings, target savings account, and leave that money stay put there so that the system can go and pick it at the right date.
Thank you very much, Tina. That's very well said. So there's a question from Namdi Uche. So the question is, what's the connection between UC Invest Now and United Capital Fund Managers? So UC Microfinance Bank is a subsidiary of United Capital Group, right? And the Invest Now is the investment management app for United Capital Group. So that's it, Namdi Uche. So the next question for you, Tina. So what can I get more info on UC Marcos? So if person wants to know more about UC Marcos, this is from YouTube.
All right. Thank you, Toby, for that question, and thanks to the listener for sending it in. So I'll just state in bullet points the UC Markets benefit. You can start with 5,000 Naira. The interest rate on UC Marcos is 15%. UC Marcos is a target savings product, which means that you need to set it up and tell it what to do, right? You don't just, it's not like your Galaxy where you just take the bulk money and fix it there and move on. So you need to set parameters. Parameters being start date, end date, right? And how frequency on when it should go, daily, weekly, or monthly, right? UC Marcos does not have a penalty charge if you decide to liquidate. If you set it up today and decide to liquidate next week, we'll pay you interest on that 1 week and you're gone. So we are not charging you for penalty charge. It's not locked away, so which means it's available for you to liquidate. So I've given 5 points just to give you the benefits and the differentiating factor between Marcos and Galaxy, right? Marcos is target savings, purely target savings, and it's picking out money every time to save towards a goal. And 15% on Marcos, 20% on Galaxy.
Thank you very much, Tina. So unfortunately, we won't be able to take any more questions for today, but if you have any questions, you can always send to our email. So before we wrap up, Tina, one more question for you. So for someone who has struggled with money in the past and is currently struggling with the finances, right? What advice can you give this person?
All right, Toby. So in financial planning, right, you need to look inwards. So struggle is a big word. What did you struggle with? Is it the struggle coming from the fact that you're earning less than your expenses is? And obviously you need to re-engineer. You need to sit down and look at those expenses, because at the end of the day, like Esther mentioned, it's about cash flow. You can't be spending more than you are earning. So perhaps that's where you're finding the struggle. So you need to sit down, like I said, and that's how we started this conversation, budgeting. You need to put it down, look at your expenses. I'm earning 500,000, but the expenses that come my way month on month is 600. Then there's a problem, obvious struggle right there. Then you begin to cut the expenses. People need to know, don't do big boys. If you do big boy in Lagos, you sink. People need to know how much you earn, right? And so that when you're making those promises, someone is calling you and say, Toby, please, can I get 50K? That's how they start the conversation. You say, oh, not a problem. Don't worry, I'll send it to you. No, it's a problem. If you send 50K out of that 500, you have 450 left. So you need to make those things visible to you. And I started from the beginning. The Bukata can be a problem. We are all in Nigeria. We see how it works. People are calling from all sides. Your aunties, uncles, everybody just calling, and they want to eat into that your 500,000. You need to know when to say this is how much you can do, or take the request to the next month. You can't carry everybody's problem on your head. Otherwise, you would sink. And when you sink, they will move on and find the next person, that will be servicing those. And those are very hard truths when it comes to financial planning. You need to know those things. So it now depends on where the struggles are coming from. If you're able to locate the root cause of that struggle, then you will deal, right? But what is most important? Know your revenue or your cash flow, know your expenses, match it, and have them spelled out for different reasons. And do not forget, one part of your salary must go to savings. So whatever it is that you're mapping those things to, savings must be included. You must save for the future. It is a must. It's not even optional, especially in today's Nigeria. It is a must that you save. So put those things, let it be visible to you, then you can make the right decision.
So as Tina said, no go do pass yourself. Oh, it is very important that you are able to spend what you can afford. Don't go and overdo. Bukata will always be there. It won't go away. And budgeting is very, very important. Ensure that you have a budget so that you're able to track your spending. Esther, for you, you introduced us to UC Microfinance Bank in the beginning. So as we end the session, can you just tell us why we should pick UC Microfinance Bank?
Okay, so why UC? Because UC is here for you. So when I say UC is here for you, whatever category you belong to in the economy, UC is here to take care of that financial need. Whether you are a business owner, whether you are a salary earner, whether you are a student in the school, whoever you are, UC is here for you. And I'm sure everybody wants, financial services that is seamless and hassle-free. That is what UC is, and that is who UC is. So UC is here for you. Thank you.
UC is here for you. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Esther. Thank you very much, Tina. We want to thank all our listeners for joining us today. I mean, I wish we had more time to continue this discussion, but unfortunately we don't. And I feel so sad that this has come to an end. Special recognition to Esther, special recognition to Tina. Thank you very much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your time with us. So at UC, we are committed to democratizing access to finance for everyday Nigerians. If you have any questions or you would like to begin your journey with any of the products discussed, we are ready to give you a guide every step of the way. So visit our website at www.getuc.com. You can also send us an email at uck@ucmfb.com to book a free consultation. We are here for you. Send us that mail today. Let's get started. So if you missed any part of the webinar, you have nothing to worry about. The recording will be shared shortly. You can follow us on our social media platforms, on Instagram at GetUC and on X at _GetUC. You can also follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn at UC Microfinance Bank. Once again, thank you very much for being part of this conversation. My name is Oluwatobiloba Adejumo. See you at the next webinar. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.